I'm Gold Derby News and Features Editor Ray Richmond, and I'm welcoming Andrew Wehde from the FX series The Bear to our TV Cinematographers Meet the Experts panel. Andrew, I never imagined a DP's job could get more challenging than yours was in the first season of The Bear, but it looked like season two upped the ante even more. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Season two, we went for it after, a surprise first season success. So we really kind of came out and tried to prove that we could do it bigger and better.
I mean, nothing quite like the review episode from season one where you did that 18-minute real-time shot, but somehow I was still always on the edge of my seat watching things unfold. Um, uh, it did seem like a lot of the frantic nature and chaos of the show calmed a bit in many of the 10 episodes for season two, but the ones where it remained in place were off the charts.
Thank you. Yeah, we it needed to settle down at times. We needed the story to kind of allow us to explore these characters outside of the kitchen. And two was a great time for us to do that. But we certainly brought some of that heat back, specifically in, episodes 6, 7, and 10. It really, those three episodes to me are kind of the standouts, all feeling very different from each other, but all being really special on their own.
I was going to say, I was just about to mention Fishes, episode 6,
Thank you.
that seemed to feature every big name guest star who ever lived. And the opening 20, 25 minutes of that were just a whirlwind of movement and activity and turmoil.
Yes.
It actually left me dizzy. How demanding. As I was watching it, I was like, poor Andrew, how did he even shoot that?
It was a tiny little home in Evanston, just north of the city, that we actually pre-lit for 2 days, went in and did 4 days of filming. That episode runtime is right around an hour. And so outside of the dining room sequence, which happens, near the end of the episode, we shot 4 days in this tiny little home, all on the first floor. And the goal of it for to give Chris that opportunity to just have that freedom of exploration was having that house fully lit 360, pre-lit day for night, tented, and allow these actors to explore the space and never wait for camera lights. And so I bunkered myself in the basement along with my board operator for lighting, and I live graded the whole episode down there, both on camera color and lighting, and really left my operators upstairs on the first floor, and we stayed in communication and kind of just were flexible within each scene and each take, and we allowed these actors to kind of turn this house into a live play.
So that's the thing. I mean, there had to be a lot of improvisation going on. Everything that was going on could not have been scripted down to an inch of its life, could it? I mean, there had to just be a lot of free
um
flowing.
Well, to be completely fair to Chris, our writer director, the words are there, and I think we paid tribute to what was written on paper, and Jamie Lee definitely brought her own level to it, but I think the everyone was really on script and on page. It was more about allowing them to have motion throughout this first floor, and giving them activities or tasks to do. So whether they're on screen or off, it's similar to that episode 7 from season 1. Everyone was in constant flow and motion throughout this house, whether they're on screen, and it gave everyone a task. It always gave them something to do, and we, as the filmmakers on it, just would pick certain people to highlight each take, and it allowed us to kind of follow their story, and then editorial could kind of clean that up later on.
Just physically being in a space like that where so much is going on, Andrew. I mean, is it hard to stay out of the way? Is it all blocked
Uh,
just perfectly? Or I mean,
we certainly, I'm very fortunate to have two excellent operators on that show. My A operator, Gary Maloof, and I go back for, 14, 15 years. We've done everything together. And so I trust his eye, I trust his instincts. We spend a lot of time watching rehearsals next to each other and kind of insinuating what we need to do, what we need to cover. And in an episode like that, we really spent time allowing the actors to rehearse through big sections of the script. So we would let them do 15 pages, and we let them rehearse it and figure it out, both with the direction and in dialogue, and also with like what are they doing with the food and where's the food going? And so there's so much happening. We kind of just stepped back and watched it. We watched this kind of performance unfold. And from there, we really kind of then allowed them to do their thing. And we, as the camera, we kind of knew where to be and we could capture it in a way to allow us to kind of hand off to other people throughout that episode.
And in Forks, the episode 7, where Richie's interning at the fancy restaurant, that also
Yeah.
looked like it was, if you'll pardon the expression, a bear to film. There was so much going on there as well, and so much
Yeah.
just constant motion, different than
It
6,
is
and then
very,
10 as
yeah.
well. But what were the challenges in Forks?
Forks was the challenge really there was we moved our entire production into Ever, which is a restaurant in Chicago, Curtis Duffy's restaurant. And this is, arguably maybe the most prestigious it's a 2 Michelin star, but we're hoping it goes 3 soon. We're walking into a very expensive designed and built restaurant, and we're production, and we all know how production is. And so the hardest thing there was really just being respectful to the space and the people that worked there. But they were so gracious allowing us to come in. It really felt very seamless. Forks is just a very different capture. Like we wanted to make a film that felt different than anything else in this season, specifically coming off of 6. We needed to feel like its own vibe, its own tone. The camera moves differently. And for me, that's really exciting because we kind of are just playing around with themes and styles of directors that Chris and I just have loved and admired our whole career. And so Forks to us was kind of this, real love to Chicago and in the nighttime of Chicago. We did a lot of great nighttime exterior work. And, it's just, to me, it was actually the most fun I've had in a really long time being there. And, the challenges really were just finding ways to tell this story while kind of allowing Richie's kind of drive to dictate, the pace of us.
And then 10, you're in a just a busy happening restaurant,
Yeah.
as it's opening. So that had its own challenges too. But again, obviously different than 6. It was a much larger space in 10.
Yeah, in 10, and not a lot of people have noticed or talked about it yet, but the first 14 minutes of 10 is an uncut take again. And so we purposely wanted to make a point that 7 from season 1 wasn't a fluke, that we could do this again, but we can do it better and it makes more sense and it's even more invisible. And so we wanted to start 10 in a way where the audience is like, oh, here we go again. This is not cutting. Why isn't it cutting? Constant movement. We're going from front of house to back of house. And it really was the challenge for us to kind of showcase that, again, we can make these kind of long, uninterrupted takes that are meaningful, that make sense to the story, that don't take the audience away from what's happening. But then we wanted to just kind of follow that up and kind of be like, nope, we also have a whole second half of the episode we want to showcase in another style that kind of brings us back to, I like to say, my director Chris Stohr's style. Like, this is his episode and this is everything that we've done up until this point, culminating to his style and what he loves. And so 10 to me is the most special of all the episodes because of how much we do and how much variety of camera movement and lighting and everything just feels really, really special for us.
And you'd already done an 18-minute uninterrupted take. So
We did.
14,
Yeah.
piece of cake, right?
I don't know the exact time on it, but it certainly is
Yeah.
over 12 minutes. And to me, it was important. And I think it was even better than the first time.
Is it generally always fun, Andrew, to be doing cinematography for a show where so much seeming experimentation is going on, or do you sometimes wish it was a little more conventional so you could breathe once in a while?
Oh no, this is the best time of my life. I absolutely love it wholeheartedly. I said it before, and I've never felt so much freedom to be a part of something. I think that what we're trying to do in The Bear is to show that TV doesn't need to be conventional and it doesn't need to follow the rules that have been followed for so many years. And we're trying to tell stories in the best way they can within each episode without, falling back to what you're supposed to do or how you're supposed to do it, but rather let's make a movie that makes most sense within these, whether it's 25 minutes or an hour. And, for us, we're loving this experience. We're very excited to go into season 3 very soon here and hope to kind of put together another pretty amazing season.
Well, we're going to wrap there. Andrew, good luck to you this coming awards
Thank
season.
you.
FX's The Bear is currently streaming all of its first 2 seasons exclusively on Hulu. Thanks for joining us at Gold Derby.
Thank you.